All right, let's open it up. You take a look at the game last week. PJ came in, had a great week of preparation, studied it well, knew the plan, went out, executed, played at a high level. Happy for PJ. Now we got to look to stack weeks together.
How did not having a superstar like Christian McCaffrey, what sense did you get from the move, elevate, the attitudes of the other players saying, hey, we need to do more, we need to step up?
Yeah, I'm not sure about your question. I don't know if it elevated any attitude. I think guys just went out like they do every week. We had a chance to go out and play a game against a division opponent. It was a big challenge for us. Those are always physical games. Those are always tough games. I think we executed a little bit better on offense, had a little bit more success maybe than we have so far this season. And you saw some confidence build as the game went on a little bit. I don't know about the attitudes. I think we have pretty good attitudes, week in, week out, day in and day out around here. But, yeah, I mean, I'd like to think we're always motivated too. I didn't see any change there. I just saw us execute a little bit better. And when you execute a little bit better, I think you have a little more confidence, and that showed up.
Starting to see more tight end involvement. Trouble that touchdown last week. You plan to elevate that input by those guys?
We like to move guys around, and we like to play. That's a good room. The room doesn't get enough credit probably. We talked about Ian. We talked about Tommy. We talked about Gio. We talked about Solly. Gio does things as a fullback for us. He does things as a tight end. So he wears a lot of hats for us. But it's a room that we like to get all those guys involved. We like to play all those guys. And when you do that, sometimes there aren't a ton of opportunities for one guy, so they may not get the numbers that some people would like to see guys get. But the quarterback's just got to go through his progression, and if the coverage takes him there and his read takes him there, he's got to take advantage of it, and they got to cash in on it. But we certainly would like to get them all involved. It's tough to say going into the game how many balls a guy's going to get.
And you have come in here before and talked about how you think you want running the football to be your identity and kind of the focus. How do you explain that you guys were able to have your best rushing game of the season after you all traded McAdoo?
I think, we want to be a physical, heavy-handed team and play with effort. That's what we want to be on offense. That's our identity. We can do it running the football, and you can do that a variety of different ways. But running the football is certainly the easiest way to get that done and to show people that's how you want to play. I just think, Foreman and Chuba, they were two excited players. They were excited for their opportunities, Going into the season, we thought we were going to be able to get them more carries, right, and more opportunities to touch the ball. And it hasn't been easy. We haven't had a lot of plays. We haven't moved the chains as well as we wanted to move the chains. We certainly took a step on third down this past week, even though our percentage wasn't great. Our opportunities were better, and we were right there on three more before it got to 4-minute mode. We were right there on three more opportunities. And, those guys, so they've been chomping at the bit to carry the ball and catch some passes all season. And they had that opportunity on Sunday, and they took advantage of it. And now we got to keep going.
How do you feel like that by committee approach sort of helped y'all open up the run game?
Yeah, I don't know if it's by committee. We had two different guys. We got some touches too, and you always want to go into a game and make sure you have at least two ready to go. This week it'll be a little bit different as we look at it, and we'll just see how the game shakes out. But it's when you had a guy like Christian on your team, he's a special player, he's a unique player. He's not here anymore, but we wanted to get him the ball. And when you don't have a lot of plays, it's hard to spread it around as much. So we had a little more opportunities this past week, and we were a little better on third down, and it gave us a few more opportunities.
Does that make you more unpredictable and make it easier on you to call plays that get the ball spread around more when you don't have a guy that you know is going to get the ball so many times like you wasn't Christian?
No, I mean, if you know you're going to give somebody the ball 25 times a game, that makes it a little easier, right? So I think, you got to go through, you got to look at it. You have to move guys around. Different players have different skill sets, right? So you want to make sure you put those guys in a position to be successful. So when you go into the game, a couple things have to happen. You have to have those guys kind of put in place to do what they do best, and then you have to be able to adjust in more than one way when something occurs in the game and a guy needs a breather or a guy goes down or whatever the case may be. So you just have to be ready to adjust in different ways on the fly.
Now the teams have seen a different version of the Panthers. How tough is that or how challenging is that to kind of keep the momentum going into this week?
Yeah, it's all, every week's always going to be challenging. It's always going to be hard. We're going into playing a team. Coach Pease has been around a long time. He's been around a long time. He was at Michigan State before I got there in the early 2000s, and he's done it well for a long time. So he's certainly going to have a plan, and he's going to come out and put his guys in position to be successful. And we have to go in with a plan, and we have to be ready to adjust as the game goes on, and even early in the game. So we'll have our work cut out for us there, and we got to spread the ball around a little bit, but then we got to get our best players the ball as well.
And they are struggling in the secondary now. They're banged up in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Do you envision this an opportunity to maybe even kind of take another step in the pass game with PJ?
Well, yeah, you certainly would like to take a step in the pass game, but you just want to take a step as an offense and as a team, right? We're one of three phases, so we need to come out and play the game the way that's going to help our team to give us the best chance to win the game. So that's number one. So we can come out and say, well, the numbers say this or the numbers say that. They have good players and they have good scheme, just like we have good players and we have good scheme. But we need to play to our identity, number one, and we need to play to the team to put ourselves in the best position to try to go get a W on the road, which is hard to do in a division.
You've been a part of the team with New York where you replaced the veteran starting quarterback. Not saying that's officially happening here, but PJ's playing well and he's going to start this week, even if Baker's ready to go. How does that work, and how do you handle that?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I'm worried about today. That's where our focus is. So we're going to go out. We're going to hit the practice field today. We're going to get PJ ready to go today, and then we're going to get everybody else in the room ready to go. If PJ can't make it through the game, whatever the case may be, is the backup. So to me, today's all about PJ, and then getting the other guys kind of caught up to the plan without getting a ton of reps, getting them the individual work they need to get them, and then getting them the mental work that they need post practice.
And how's Baker handled that role?
Baker's Baker, man. Baker has no shortage of confidence. He's played a lot of football in this league, and I don't see any different from him. He's helping out any way that he can.
What have you seen from Bradley Bozeman? What stands out with his performance?
Yeah, Brad's a big, strong guy in there, right? He's a big, strong, physical guy. He's played some football. He's played center. He's played guard. He's played in different types of offenses. And he's not afraid to take the bull by the horns and communicate, and he did a tremendous job there. It was good to see him out there playing. I know he's been chomping a bit to play, and like a lot of guys are in the locker room, and he got his opportunity, and he took advantage of it.
You mentioned analytics earlier. I know going into the season it was really heavily focused on analytics. Have you all loosened that and gone more with gut decisions, or any changes with that?
Yeah, anything like that with the program, I'll let Coach Wilkes handle those types of things. I always like to take a look at the numbers. I think those are important. I think those are important. I think trusting your gut's important, and I think you got to find the happy medium in there.
What's the advantage of having the rotation versus having kind of a bell cow at running back?
Yeah, just the number of touches one guy gets over the others, right? I think the more guys you play, the more chances you have to spread the ball around, the more you have to kind of hone in on what each guy does well. It is different, but it's not a ton different, to tell you the truth.
With the uncertainty around Chuba's status with the ankle, just kind of what do you see, what do you need to see from Raheem Blackshear this week in practice, and what are you hoping to see in his future?
Yeah, we've been oiling him up here for a few weeks. He's had some good reps with us, not just the look team, but he's had some good reps for us, and we started to sprinkle him in a little bit last week and the week before we had him ready to go. And, he's a guy that he has a good look in his eye. He's a gamer. You saw, the way he handled the kick returns the first game. The first one may not have went the way he wanted it to go, but, man, he bounced back, and he bounced back fast. So he's an exciting guy to have around. we're going to keep adding to his role and getting him in there and giving him a chance to contribute.
Ben, first play of the game last week, he was out there along with Chuba, and he kind of goes quick in motion. How much more of that do you want to do, or is that going to be a bigger part of this thing moving forward?
Yeah, we're just going to look at it. Each week we have some things we like to do just to try to get guys on the field to give them some exposure to playing instead of, wait until somebody goes down or something like that, and then you give them 30 carries or whatever the case may be. So you have a chance to warm a guy up, get him on the field, get him used to playing in the system, and then, giving the defense some different looks. So we'll just, take a look at it each week and try to get some guys some opportunities to go out there and play, and that's just how it worked out last week.
Is there a balancing act to using motion? Like, can you use too much? Maybe sometimes throw yourself off course?
I like to use a little bit of motion to undress the defense. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good to change speeds, go quick. Sometimes it's good to just line up and play. Sometimes it has to do with how the quarterback likes to play, how he sees the game. Everybody's different that way. But I just think it's you got to do what's best for the guys in the locker room that way. I know the analytics guys like the motion every play, but, we need to take a look at that and see if it's best for us on that certain play and go ahead and attack it that way.
Do you go more with analytics or gut?
Well, I like both. I like as much information as I can get. So I like to, we're in there meeting upstairs, or I like to talk to the coaches. I like to talk to the players. I like to talk to guys on the other side of the ball. Get as much information as you can, and then try to make the best decision that you can. Analytics is certainly a big part of that. But I like information. I like to learn, and then you like to. At the end of the day, you got to do what your players do best and put them in position to be successful.
It changed the way the game played for a lot of teams, though, when the analytics became more prominent, it seems like. What did you notice that, and how did you have to adjust your mindset when that started happening?
Just like I said, you want the latest and greatest information, and if you can make a decision in the course of the game that can alter your chances to win the game, I think that's good to know.
Ben, we keep talking about all these different running backs you're using. I'm wondering if you can explain the order of operations in deciding which running back is on the field for a given play.
The order of operations. Well, you like to go through and you like to factor personnel in. So who's on the field, right? So are you big? Are you in sub? Right? Are you in base? Take a look at that. Then take a look at the type of play you want to run, what the defense is giving you, and then factor in what the back runs well. Is he a gap guy? Is he an inside zone guy? Is he outside zone guy? Is he a perimeter guy? And just try to factor that in to see what they do well, and then go from there. And then you want to take a look at that and see what counters you can have off of it. That's kind of where you get started.
Yes, perfect answer. Thank you.
I try.
We've been asking first Coach Wilkes and PJ, now it's your turn. What did you think, what throw did you think was PJ's best on Sunday?
What throw was his best on Sunday? That's a great question. I thought the throw to Tommy was really good. I thought the best read of the game was probably the first play of the game. That was really hard to see. It was a tough play for Moo. He'll come up with that the next time. But I think just for him to be able to grab the corner's eyes and knew he was going to fall off there, that's big time. These guys played some football, right? To go out there in the first play of the game on the 9-yard line and pull the trigger there was unique. And it said a lot about him confidence-wise. You go out there and you make a decision like that, then let's go play ball, right?
Was there a point in training camp where you were like, PJ didn't get many reps, where you were like, I really wish I could get him more reps, or just things you saw that you really liked?
The first scrimmage that we had down there, it was a rough day for the offense. Defense really played lights out. But we had a couple red zone plays there where PJ was in, and he kind of he hit a post like he hit in the game the other day. That's his game. He did a nice job there. So that kind of stands out to me. And the look, he had a look in his eye where he wasn't going back down. He was going to compete regardless of the number of reps he has.
You brought up Terrace. How do you think he bounced back from that play? For example, the whole shot he caught was impressive in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a tough play, right? Because the hit's coming. And PJ got it up and down as probably quickly as he could get it up and down, considering. And that may have been a tougher play than the first play, right? Because that right there, the safety. There's nothing holding that safety there on that play, so he's going to be able to open his hips and come over and deliver a blow, and you got to make sure you come up and down with it quickly. And, yeah, he bounced back. He's a tough guy.
This division, 2 years back, was really strong at quarterback. You had Cam playing the high level, you had Matty Ice in Atlanta playing the high level, and Drew Brees was playing the high level, and a little bit later Tom Brady came in. And now it seems like the whole division at quarterback is kind of like up in the air. How unusual is that, and how have you observed that whole process?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there are some good quarterbacks in this league. I think, we're getting ready to go play a guy. He's on the other side of the ball, but I think they're playing at a high level down there in Atlanta right now. They may not throw it a ton, but when he's asked to, I think he's playing at a high level. So I don't know. I guess maybe sometimes things get cyclical in this league, but I'm worried about playing the defense we got ahead of us. I haven't had much time to sit and think about that.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
All right, appreciate it.